I'm here
What's
for the
up?
mid-lunch crisis with my buddy.
What's up, guys? Spear the Reaper here.
We are going to do a beginner's guide to economics on today's episode. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to start making units very early on in the game. I'm on my permadeath save. This is not one of my big saves that I have lots and lots of money. So you don't have to worry about that. We're going to be starting with about 3 million units. You can see here I have 3.3 million. Still have a C-class multi-tool, a C-class starship, and my exosuit. While I do have a few of these extra spots left open, my cargo only has the 3. My tech only has 5, so I'm not really far in there yet. What's going on, Galaxy? How you doing today, buddy?
What's up, man?
Alright, so first thing I have to do is I have to get out of third person, because I can't stand it. Second, I need to talk to this Gek, because apparently I missed one. So I'm going to talk to him real quick, learn a quick word. Remember, every time you go into a station, you want to do 2 things. You want to check the box for lava lamps, see what multi-tool's there, and talk to everybody. Now, as far as making money goes, there's a couple different ways you can do this. One really good way to increase your revenue throughout the game is every time you come into a station, go and browse the missions and pick up things like scan minerals. Holla, Mary, how you doing, hun?
Hey, Mary. I gotta give a quick shout out before you keep going here.
Go for it.
Ballisticola in the house with the big old first. Nice job, buddy. How's it
Oh, that
going?
was slick. Didn't even see that one. You slipped in before the chat thing popped up on me. I see how it is. Good job. Good job, buddy. All right, now I got live chat. There's Ballisticola up there. All right. Getting me. Actually, you beat Stream Elements bot. Good job. So, getting back to this though, pick up all the easy ones. Kill 11 creatures. Now, we're not going to do these right now. We're not going to do missions right now, but as you go into a bunch of stations, you want to pick up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stations worth of these things, because they all have very similar ones. Now, don't bother with ones like deliver an item. If you like hunting pirates, you can do that one, because as soon as you leave the station, you're going to have a pirate there. But I'm not really set up for fighting things in space, so I'm not going to bother with that. I want the passive ones. Every time I go to a planet, I scan minerals. Every time there's a predator, I kill predators. Every time there's a creature, I either feed them or kill them. It's pretty easy to stack those up, and then you can do a whole bunch of them and then turn them all in at once. You also don't have to return to this station. So now, I was here earlier and I did speak with this traveler and I already got his grave, and I've already gotten my suit upgrade here in the station and outside. I went and I called in the Anomaly and got my second one there. So I've gotten my suit upgrades and I've already checked everything, but just to show you, just so Lava Lamps doesn't, have a cow or anything else like that, here's the B grade multi-tool in here. Now, one of the other things you want to do is you want to upgrade your multi-tool as soon as possible in the game. The B is a nice one, but it's not quite big enough. And you want to look for stations that have scanner modules, because you want to put 3 scanner mods in as soon as possible, so that every time you scan something, you make as much money as possible. Now, again, that's not going to be the focus of today's target. We'll get to those things later, but when you only have 3 million units, you can't afford to go out and scrap ships like this guy right here is 9.4. So we're not going to be able to do that, but what we can do is we can start with economic things in the Galactic Trade Terminal. And what we're going to do here is, first we're going to show what kind of system we're in. We're in a fuel generation, and it's a medium supply. We would prefer to have a high supply, but we don't have a high supply handy just yet. Now what we do have is we have an economy scanner in our starship, which is going to help us so that we can actually look at things. We have a hyperdrive because you need to jump. I don't have any hyperdrive upgrades or anything else like that. I'm actually going to recharge this while I'm sitting right here. The hyperdrive is fueled up with 5 warp cells right now, so I can get a couple jumps, and that's going to be helpful. But we are starting in a fuel generation. So if you go onto the Discord, I posted a link in there. The fuel generation falls under the power generation, energy supply, fuel generation, and high voltage systems. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here to the Galactic Trade Terminal, and we're going to look at these first items that pop up. Now these are all produced locally, and it shows you what the buy percentage is in relation to the galactic average. Negative 4.5%, not the best. 18.4%, much better. So what you want to try and do is you're going to want to buy all of these. Now pay very close attention, because in the exosuit, except for my ammunition, which I'm actually going to move to the starship because I'm not going to be fighting anything anytime soon, I'm going to just be filling up things in my exosuit. So I'm going to go back in here and go to this first one. And if you look at the description of this, this is a tradable energy source, a crate packed with spark canisters. Many industrial and mining processes have considerable power demands. That means you want to take this to a mining type of a place. Now the mining systems are going to be ore processing, minerals prospecting, and mining. They will buy these for the highest value, and then they in turn will have another set of items that you can purchase. We're basically going to be setting up a trade route here. So we're going to buy all of these. We're going to try and buy all of these. We're going to buy all of these. We don't have any spots in the inventory though, so what we want to do now is we want to see how many slots we have left. These don't stack very well. They only stack in 5s. So we've already filled our inventory. So what we're going to do now is we need to go out to our starship, and we're going to need to jump to a new system. So I'm going to go get in my C-Class Explorer. Go ahead, fire away.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me catch up on chat here. Mary had a rough night, but she's here.
Sorry about the rough night.
Yeah, I feel your pain. She says she doesn't like third person either. Seems choppy and hard to control versus third person other games like Conan. And Ballista Cola comes in with the never buy from the station.
Now why would you say that, Ballista Cola? Alright, while Ballista Cola tries to figure out some justification for not using the economic items, which there are plenty of them. There's lots of reasons not to buy from the station, but for this early on in the game, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with this. So we are looking for a mining system now. That's ore processing, minerals, prospecting, or mining. This is not a way to game the system. This is exactly how Hello Games set this particular thing up. This is actually the economy aspect of the game. So here we have a mining system that's balanced. Says the sell ratio is 40.6 and a buy of negative 27.1. That buy ratio is good, but the sell ratio sucks. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking for orange stars, because they're all going to be the same one. Now what we would really like is an affluent or a rich system, but we don't have a huge jump radius, so you kind of got to be picky. Never go to the low supply systems. You need a medium or high just for the sheer amounts. Alright, what did Ballista Cola say?
Ballista says because the trade stations on the planets have much better prices. And Mary Lizzie seconds that comment.
That is true. The problem with doing stuff like that for this particular style of trading is it increases the amount of time it takes to actually land and go down and find a trading post. For a slightly more advanced version, that's exactly what you would want to do, is go down to the trading post. But for the beginner stuff, you can do this all from stations. And the other reason we're going to do this, you're going to be in the station anyways, because you have to go get your suit upgrade. And so that's why we're focusing on that one. Now I found a sell ratio of 70.6 and a buy of 21.8, and it's an affluent system, so we're going to go here.
Galaxy says that he sent back the old mic, the one that was broken, and ordered a new one.
Nice. Sorry about the
Yeah.
broken mic. That sucks.
Yeah, buddy. In case you guys didn't know, Galaxy is trying to up his game here. He got a capture card and a new mic, and he was getting her all set up. Opened the box to the new mic, and it was broken.
Alright, guys. So, interesting thing now. Not really set up for this, but we just got ourselves a capital freighter engagement. Actually, that is not a capital freighter engagement. This is just a freighter engagement. So, we're going to go ahead and go through this. Is
this your first?
This is the first. I am not set up for fighting at all. This is a really, really crappy explorer I'm in. But this will also help with future money making, because having a freighter is super, super helpful.
Big Poppa Timo.
Yes.
Cleaning up.
Stock photon cannons. Luckily, these are all fairly easy ships.
Galaxy, this is permadeath.
So I do have to be a little bit careful on this. Alright, hostile ships are defeated. Emergency comms are established. We all know the routine on this one. Talk to the captain, go check it out, blah blah blah. We also know that since this is not a capital ship, the chances of Big Poppa Timo taking this are slim to none. Alright, so it's a C-15-3. Yeah, not even gonna bother.
Oh, come on.
Nope.
Little ships need love too.
Nope. Alright, so Big Poppa Timo is not even gonna bother with that one. Now,
Galaxy said that freighter is kind of ugly.
actually, I kind of like that freighter for a non-capital, but it reminds me of one of the ships I use in one of the games I play. Now, this is the first affluent system that I've been in on this save. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to do this a little bit backwards. I should have actually gone and gotten on the Anomaly first. Because what that would have done is it would have given me the extra slot before I even got into the station. Because now I'm going to have to go here. Now what you do is you just go and you sell. And this is straight out of your inventory. Now if you see your demand, plus 77, that's the sell ratio. So the prices on these have gone up dramatically. I'm going to sell that. And we're going to sell that. Now you see we've gained 500,000 units just off of a single transaction. Now we're going to go ahead and make sure that all of our stuff is still free. We're good to go on that. Like I said, I should have gone to the Anomaly first. And I apologize for doing this kind of back-asswards. But all of my medications are hitting me at once, and my brain is not quite functioning. Alright, get your suit upgrade. This one's 60,000. I'll take it. For lava lamps.
Just want to let you know, we have 6 watching and 6 thumbs up.
Awesome, thanks guys. Alright, so this is an A class, and it's going to cost us 3.1. We're not going to buy this just yet, although this would be a really good upgrade for this, but that puts us way too close to what we have and what we need, and we need some funds available.
Galaxy beat us all to it. Hashtag what's in the box.
Nice. Alright, so I'm going to jump back out real quick. Move off to the side just a little bit, call in the Anomaly, and go get my second suit upgrade. Next time I'll remember to do this first. Excuse me. Now this is pretty much going to be a 3-stage effect on trading. We're going to go and we're going to do a bunch of the economic devices that are already in the game, and then I'm going to go ahead and get onto crashing the market with certain items. Whether it's cobalt, whether it's chlorine, whether it's salt, depends on what's available and what the highest profit margins are within the system. Show you how to crash the market. It's a little hard when you don't have a lot of funds, and then we'll move on to advanced crashing, which involves wiring looms, because there's high profit margin in wiring looms. Alrighty. Hello, there we go. Suit upgrade. Let's get our next one here. So we've now gotten 2 suit upgrades, and that gives us 2 more slots. That's just a little bit more cash. Always so good, and you just really have to remember to do this each and every time. Now, one of the other ways you can actually make a decent amount of money is if people are being nice. You can turn on your multiplayer while being in the Anomaly and just stand still for a while. And as everybody comes in to do the duplication glitch, they'll just dump stuff in your box. Unfortunately, most people are cheap right now, and they're giving you like 1 dihydrogen jelly. I'm not a big fan of duping glitches, and I'm not a big fan of using them, but if you do, be nice. Give the people that you're duping off of something cool in return. Don't be that cheapskate that gives somebody 5 carbon. Which is exactly what I got earlier today.
I was going to say, I was in the Anomaly, I believe it was on our Friday stream, and somebody gave me like 10 ferrite dust. Galaxy said Galaxy said somebody gave him a Atlas Pass version 3.
See, that's not a bad, you know, if somebody's going to give something away for a duping glitch, that's not a bad one to give. When I go in there, I tend to just, I'm not duping, but when I do go in there, I tend to drop like a stack of activated indium on people. Alright, since we're here, we're going to grab the nav data. I'm not going to talk to everybody because we just don't really have all the time for that in the world, but I am going to get my missions.
Mary Lizzie, would you like me to explain the duping glitch? Just a real quick rundown. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway. Real quick. So basically what you do is you put something in your personal refiner. Okay, well, she said not really. The less I know, the better.
Gotcha. Alright,
okay,
so let me go through this real quick before we get off track. You can explain it while I'm going through the jump process. Alright, now that we've got some more slots and we've got a little bit more cash, we're actually going to focus on something a little bit different. Instead of getting all the dirt, which is actually the cheapest thing and the less profit, we're going to go for the higher price thing and see how many of these things we can get. We can't get all of them, so we actually need to just sit here and go in increments of 5 until we can no longer afford it. So what we're going to do is, whoops, too far. Alright, we can get 50, we can get 55, we can get 60, we can get 65. Let's go ahead and buy those. And then we're going to drop this back down all the way to 5. and just get as many of them as we can until we're either out of money or we run out of slots in inventory. This will just increase the amount of money that we get when we go through. You're there. Now we just have a couple slots left over in the inventory. So we're going to get 2 more of those. Now we're down to 48,000 units. Now remember, when you look at these things, these are read lattice dark crystals. We actually have more room in the inventory, but we don't have too much cash. We're going to go buy something else. These are going for manufacturing. So the things that go into manufacturing, or the manufacturing systems, are going to be yellow stars. They're going to be manufacturing, industrial construction, or mass production. So let's go back here actually, and we're going to fill up on as much dirt as we can get. Too much money. Now this is just to maximize the profit per trip. Can't do 115, so we're just going to step it down by 5s. I could count it out. It would be easier to do that, but I'm too lazy. After a while, you actually know how many items you can carry with you. I should probably just count. There we go. Alright, so we are down to 15,000 units now, and our inventory should be full, as it is. Alright. Now do you want to explain the duplication glitch?
Oh, I wasn't going to explain. I was just going to say it involves your personal refiner and giving somebody an item in the anomaly. So, like Timo said, if you're what I've done is I'll go and just sit down right there by the Nexus, leave the game going, and go and do something else, cook dinner, whatever, and just leave it there. And I come back and I've got a backpack full of stuff. Generally it's all useless stuff, but occasionally you get some good things.
Alright, here we found a Viking system, mass production, and opulent. Now the buy-sell ratio is kind of horrid, but we want to get as many opulent systems or wealthy as we can early on, because it just gives you a larger pool of items to grab. Yeah, it's kind of funny, Mary Liz. It's very similar to the body dupe in 7 Days to Die, where you're utilizing something else's inventory to cause a duplication glitch on your end.
Galaxy said you have 8 thumbs up. I'm actually going to correct him because now we have 9.
Woot woot. Alright, and since I remember this time, I'm going to call the Anomaly first.
I just call it the Anomaly.
As opposed to the Anomaly first?
Yeah.
Now I currently have multiplayer turned off because I didn't want people throwing random crap inventory in there and gumming up the works. Now one of the first things that I like to do on just about any of my saves is to become economically stable. And for me, economically stable is having about 150 million units. It takes about 4 hours for me to get that way once I'm to this point. So now that I'm actually trading, shouldn't be hard. Now see, I did make another mistake. I need 80,000 units to actually do this.
What's up, Graha?
Graha, interloper. Yeah, brain not working today.
Apparently, Big Papa Timo's Viking is Spanish?
Of course. Isn't yours?
No.
But I'm Viking, me amo es Esteban. Alright, so, having screwed up twice in a row now, what we're going to do now is we're going to go in and we're going to sell all of our items first. Then we'll get our suit upgrades.
D. Morty, what's up, buddy? He said, everyone wants to be economically stable, especially Venezuela.
That is very true. That is very true.
Galaxy wants to know if you speak Spanish.
Un poquito. Which means a
some
little.
of it.
What's going on, Sword? How you doing,
What's
buddy?
up, buddy?
Alright, now the other cool thing about this is now that we're hitting a lot of stations, we can start looking for travelers too. Now I've already gotten 2 glyphs, so I'm actually fairly well on my way this early on. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go sell off all that dirt, and then the reed lattice arc crystals. Alright, so we started at 3.3 million, and we're at 4.5 already. Doesn't sound like much, but 1.2 million in 2 jumps is not a bad start. Now, the other thing, we're going to sell this navigation data because it's just taking up a space.
Graha wants to know if you flip Cobalt, then Looms to get to the point you're at right now.
That's actually the next step. I'm going from here to Cobalt, and then from Cobalt to Looms. Basically, what I really wanted to start with was the fact that Hello Games actually does have economic items in the game. Now, they're meant only for trading. They're not used for anything else. It's not like you can build anything with them. There you go. We got another A class. That's not a bad one. Look, it's got a geology cannon.
Ooh.
And that's got some pretty decent damage on it to start with.
Pretty, public service announcement. Stay away from the geology cannon, guys.
Yes. Alright, we're in a Viking system, so don't forget to get both of your nanites.
Ooh. What's up, Pone Stream?
Pone in the house.
Welcome to the mid-lunch crisis, buddy.
Alright, yeah, that's a wall. It's a glass wall, but it's a wall nonetheless. You guys are going to have to forgive me. Well, you don't have to, but I would really like it if you did. Within the last hour, I've taken allergy medications, heart medications, and concussion medications. And my brain is all sorts of fuzzy at the moment. So if I cause motion sickness, please let me know. Try not to walk into too many walls. Alright, now we gotta go all the way back out to...
Oh, Graha makes a good point.
I am. Never fly under the influence, guys. That and don't shoot your mom with a 50 cal, but that's a whole different game.
Unless she's a zombie.
If she's a zombie, hit her with everything you got. Alright, why can I... You know what? I can't find the anomaly. I'm just going to call it again. The joy of the anomaly going anywhere you call it. Alright, let's get our next suit upgrade. Now what I try and end up doing is getting about to 10 million before I start economy crashing. And we'll probably get pretty close to that on this next jump. This is also my first save that I've gone back and forth on the Anomaly to pick up suit upgrades.
I still forget.
Well, I have that one save that I had to max units. That I had gone and done just this. I didn't even know that you could get a suit upgrade here in the Anomaly.
Graha says you're good as I start with about 6 mil in seed money, but it multiplies pretty quick.
Yes, it does. Alright. Now, to get the seed money, you can do a bunch of different things. You can either do what I'm doing here, or you can run around planets, get things like storm crystals, the various other things, getting the subterranean relics and the tetracobalt, and then refining ionized cobalt. Great way to make some early money.
That's probably one of my favorites.
The chlorine loops are always a good way to do it. Mary Lizzie says chlorine loop. There you go.
Yeah. Noth Ghost in the house.
Noth Ghost already got me on a quote earlier today.
Oh.
I was playing Farming Simulator and had a fairly inappropriate, out of context quote that he caught me on.
Oh, nice. You've been Noth Ghosted.
I have been Noth Ghosted already today.
So Noth Ghost says the Viking battery is so powerful, it has manifested itself as a sentient entity and created its own YouTube account.
Alright, now when you look here, you can see that the buy-sell ratio I said was kind of screwed up. So if you look at the demand, the plus 0.5%, negative 0.8%, negative 2.6, negative 10, negative 6.2. Always go for the green numbers and go for the higher ones. So we're going to get all the enormous cogs. It's not going to be that high of a profit margin with us, but it does still give us the best one. So now I'm actually going to count. We can get another 10, 20, 30, 45. 45 of any particular thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to buy the highest price ones. That also changed the economic values of all of these different things. So we're going to go ahead and buy 45 of these. This is where I wish we could just type in numbers. Alright, now we're down to 2.2 million. We're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to jump in our ship and make another jump. Alright, now of course we do have to figure out where we're going again. These are going to high techs. And the high-tech economies are going to be the light blue stars, and it's going to be high-tech technology, nano construction, or engineering. Now, the cool thing about this particular one is with where I started in a power generation or fuel generation, there are 4 different systems in that loop that you can do. You go power generation, mining, manufacturing, technology, power generation, mining, and so on and so forth. If you start in a trading, advanced materials, or scientific, there's only 3. So you'll have to tighten up your trade route just a little bit.
Noth Ghost wants to know, is Gra like Smurf, where you can say that instead of a bad word?
Alright, so we're going to be looking for the light blues. Just like, not that one. We're going to be looking for the pale blues. There we go. Now, you also have to bear in mind that I don't have any of the drives installed, so I can't hit any of the cadmium systems or anything else like that. So we have a technology one here. we're limited in our jump range, and we're limited in which systems we can go to, because like I said before, this is all just really, really early types of things, and as you go, you're probably going to want to upgrade those things as well. So we may not find another wealthy system within our jump range, and that's when you have to go for the medium economies. So pay real close attention to that buy-sell ratio when you're going to the medium ones.
Galaxy is going into lurk mode. He's got some YouTube back-end work he's got to be doing.
Right on.
Let's see. North Coast. Viking 1. Me and my wife grabbed the bathroom at work yesterday. Oh. Viking 2. Holy gra, man. You better watch out. The supervisor will have your gra in a sling for that. Graha says, it's a name I used years before No Man's Sky was a thing. It just happened to work out.
Alrighty. Having a little trouble finding something to jump to. So we're going to have to really start thinking about a medium economy. Alright, one of the other confusing things is the difference between this particular blue star and this particular blue star. This is what you want. This is from the other loop, so don't accidentally jump to the wrong one. That's out of jump range.
Nothco says the internet historian made a documentary about the game called The Engooding of No Man's Sky.
It was actually pretty funny. Alright, so when you have trouble doing this, make sure you just switch to the other side. Unbind from your system. I can't find a single one I can jump to now. I had a couple before. Looking at the wrong blues again. This is particularly fun when you're on as many meds as I am at the moment. Everything's leaving like little trails and stuff.
Oh, nice. Must be some good allergy meds there.
It's not the allergy meds, it's the mix of the heart medications and the concussion meds. Alright, so we're just going to grab this medium economy right here and jump to that, just to offload this real quick.
Mary said she added that video to her watch list, which has approximately 4,999 videos ahead of it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the VR without the equipment on. Alright, so we actually have the cash to do this first.
Nothco says life is just VR, but you can't take the helmet off.
Now, let's go get our suit slot.
So, Big Papa Timo, while you're getting your suit slot, how did your event go yesterday?
Oh, so yesterday I had my LARPing event. Sword is now thinking of Augie, as he always does every time I say LARP. It's now one of the funny things about the event I went to yesterday. It's part of the SCA, which is the Society of Creative Anachronisms, one of the oldest LARPs in the world. Um, the SCA was founded in California back in the 60s, so it's been around for quite a while. And what they do is they do medieval reenactments, and they focus on the living history of a lot of things, but they're not really a living history organization because you don't portray true people from history. You make up a character within a certain time frame. This is mainly the Middle Ages and such, and you portray that person, which is pretty much the definition of LARPing, live action role playing. But the SCA has been around so long that they don't like to be associated with the LARPs like Lair, which is the one from Role Models. They don't want people to think that they're goofy like that, but they really are just as goofy. Yesterday's event was a kingdom level event, which means the entire northeast of the U.S. was basically involved with the 12th night, or a New Year's type of celebration. It was good. We had a really good turnout. Uh, the sales that I do for my business were actually quite decent, enough so that I could celebrate by buying myself some fast food for dinner
Oh,
afterwards. Yeah, I got McDonald's. And
nice. Now you've made it. You
I
can
know
afford the stuff.
when you can afford two McChickens
Oh
and
wow.
a large fries, you know you've done something special.
I don't know. I don't know, Timo. That was kind of excessive.
It was bordering on excessive. I will give you that. But the other way that I celebrated was I went and I got Big Mama Timo some vodka. So she is
Oh.
very, very happy. All right,
Now
so
I
go
have a
ahead.
question.
Hmm.
When you're at these events, are you in costume while you're selling stuff?
As a matter of fact, I am.
Could you describe to our viewers a little bit about your costume?
Okay, so it's not really, well, costuming's not quite the right word, but it's a good analogy anyways. All right, let's go ahead and sell all of this first real quick. So the costume or the outfit that I wear is a reproduction piece of medieval clothing, and the particular style that I was using would be the Russ Viking style, which you'd have to understand what that is and what it looks like. If you've ever seen the show Vikings, some of their similar style of clothing would be an adequate representation. Uh, my tunic and my pants are made out of 100% linen. They're hand dyed. They're sewn by a company that just makes those particular items, um,
Ooh.
and it's pretty spiffy. And I tend to focus on greens and blacks. So we're gonna go ahead and, instead of starting our Cobalt loop here, we're actually gonna jump back to. Thought that was a traveler for a second. We're gonna go back to our discoveries, and we're gonna look at the systems we've been to. Now this one here was a. Um, I'm having trouble finding what I wanted to see. It's a medium
Uh,
supply, but this one was an affluent system. We're going to jump back to Yerslud Panny so that we have more material to buy. Um, Now, a lot of the people, getting back to the event, a lot of the people that were there, particularly the people that portray royal characters, like the king and queen of the kingdom that I'm part of, they go all out. They were wearing like medieval finery, handcrafted, hand sewn, really, really nice fancy outfits. Some of them cost, in the thousands of dollars. When I go about my normal life, out and about, I'm wearing $20 jeans and a $10 t-shirt and, $50 pair of boots. Yesterday I was wearing pants that cost me $120, a tunic or a shirt that cost me $80, and my boots are just shy of 500. So
wow.
I was pretty decked out in some pretty expensive stuff. Um, it's an investment, but you want to look the part, you want to look good. So, alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come here. Now you notice there was a huge difference. There were only 1,500 Cobalt in the last location, but there are 4,691 here. And it's going to cost us 1.1 million units to buy all of these. So what we're going to do there is we're going to buy all of them, and that's all going to go back into here, and then we're going to turn right back around, and we're going to sell it. Actually, we need to back out first. Always back out when you do this. It just resets everything from the economy. Go back to sell. Still has a 1.1 on the economy, but when we sell that there, back out again, go right back in. Whoops, we want to buy. Now the Cobalt's now down to negative 79.6%. And when we buy all of it, same amount of Cobalt, but look at the price now. It's only going to cost us 236,000 units. So we're going to buy all of that. We still have 4.5 million units. And the next thing we're going to be looking at is going to be wiring looms. But we don't have... wiring looms are kind of expensive. So we're going to wait till we have a little bit more money and we can do more of these before we start focusing on those. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump to the next system. Actually, I need to look at my discoveries to make sure it's the right one. My thing was kind of goofy. So we need to go to Sashimat. Galaxy Void says, no, it's not Svetka, Dalen. Galaxy Void says, trying to install Streamlabs and it's taking forever. That's a shame. It doesn't really take that long for me. It installs
I was going to say.
Setting it up is a pain in the ass.
I have chosen to not use Streamlabs. I've chosen to go strictly Stream Elements. Providing I can get Chatbot working. Chatbot's been on vacation for a couple of streams.
Okay, now we're in the second of the two opulent systems that we have, and we're going to go right to sell, and we're going to go right to the Cobalt, and we're going to sell all of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn back around, and we're going to go and we're going to buy all of it for negative 80.2. But this one also had a lot more. So grab that. Now we have 5 million units on us still. Alright, so we've hit 2 of our wealthy systems. So what I want to do now is I actually want to look here, and I want to increase my hyperdrive range.
Now I can hear somebody asking a question.
What is the question that they're asking?
Why not refine the Cobalt into ionized Cobalt?
Because we're going for time.
Aha.
And the other thing, when you go to the next station and you sell the ionized Cobalt, it's ionized Cobalt then. It's no longer Cobalt, which very hard to find ionized Cobalt being sold in a space station. Alright, so we're going to look here, and we've got a whole bunch of upgrades, but not what we're looking for. No S-Class. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump in our ship and hopefully be able to find any opulent system. Now the cool thing here is we don't have to look for a specific type of star system anymore, no specific economy. We can pretty much go to anything.
Northco says he's done the ionized Cobalt loop. It's okay, but not really worth it compared to chlorine and oxygen.
Alright, now since we can go to any star system. We're actually going to search by life form at this point in time, and we're going to go Vy'keen. And the reason we're going for Vy'keen is because the double nanites.
Daniel Hipley in the house.
Welcome, Daniel. How you doing today, buddy?
What's up, man?
Alright, so now we still have the jump range issue. And we're also running into type of drive issues. Out of jump range. Now we would really prefer the opulent systems. So if I happen across one that is not a Vy'keen, I'm going to hit it anyways.
Alright, Graha, double nanites. So the Vy'keen systems, if you go into the back room, there's a little machine on the wall that you extract nanites from. In Vy'keen space stations, there's one on each side of the space station.
Alright, so this is a medium economy, and I'm gonna hit this one just so we can show Graha real quick. This is not going to have nearly as much Cobalt in it as I would like, but I'm hoping that this has a hyperdrive S or a hyperdrive A. Now the other thing we have to start looking at is the fact that we are getting into higher values for the suit upgrades. So you once you hit a certain amount, where you hit about 100,000 units per suit upgrade, the question becomes, do you want to purchase them here, or do you want to start doing drop pod coordinates, because drop pod coordinate data costs about 90,000 units per drop pod coordinate data.
Daniel Hipley has a question. I'm not exactly sure what he's referring to, but he said, have you looked at the percentage yet for getting new head?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to expand upon that, Daniel, please. With the amount of medications in my real head right now, my brain went someplace completely different, and this is going to be a relatively family-friendly stream.
Daniel Hipley, 2020.
Yeah, that whole quote right there. Yep. You've been North Coasted.
Alien head Quicksilver mission is what he's referring to.
Oh, gotcha. What I can do is I can.
Daniel Hipley, I'm not sure if you are a member of the Discord here.
I actually don't have that quest on here yet. Let me go ahead and jump down to the community missions real quick.
What I'm going to do is... Give me just a second here.
This is my permadeath.
I
actually haven't spoken to this one yet.
I have to update my link for Mary Lizzie's Discord.
88%, Daniel.
Excuse me. So that is a link to Mary Lizzie's Discord, where Daniel Hipley has officially made the Bad Quote 2020.
Alright, so Mary Lizzie also brings up the interesting point. Instead of buying drop pod data, use nanites to buy exocraft. Use that to find drop pods after you've upgraded the scanner. So, not a bad idea, rather time consuming. You have to have the nanites, you also have to have the time to build the exocraft, then you have to spend time on the planet. Once you get to a certain point in this particular style of gathering money, you'll be making enough off of every trip that you should be able to afford the additional slots even when they cost you 1,000,000 units apiece. I try and streamline this for speed, basically. It's just to get to that point of financial stability for me. That's true. You are getting the nanites going to the Viking systems, but then you still have to upgrade your exocraft, go down to the surface. You have to have the roamer bay, or the exocraft summoning station. You have to build one someplace. You have to jump in the exocraft, and you have to go back and forth finding those. Now, if you are doing the drop pod coordinate data, that may be a good way to do it because you're already spending time on the planets. But when you can just pop a drop pod every time you're on the surface, it's a kind of a different ball game. All right, so we're going to go here. That was the first nanites Graha, by the way. Was on the side over here. We're going to sell all of these. Before we buy them again, we're going to get the other upgrade slot and do the other nanites. So when you come over to the other side,
I need to apologize to chat. That link for Timo's Discord unfortunately has expired.
nice.
I have to. Yeah, I don't know
There's
what it
the other
is.
nanites. Now you can
Even
also be
though-
sure that you get all of the nav data and everything else like that. I've been kind of skipping over it because I'm going for just the speed. But never forget to check what's in the box. I think the game is pretty much telling me that it is time to upgrade my multi-tool because this is the third in a row of a relatively large. Now this is a B class, 2.6 million. Damage potential of 350. Not going to do this one because we had an A, one shy of max slots. I need to check here, see if he's got a hyperdrive upgrade.
Mary Lizzie says she supposes she's just more into the exploration and not streamlining.
I totally understand. So we have the hyperdrive module here. We're going to buy one S-Class. And we're going to install that right off the bat.
Graha said he's never paid attention, thought it was random. It didn't occur to him it was only Viking. And he said he would also do a few runs of looms and then upgrade.
Alright, now we need to move the hyperdrive out of here for now. Put that there, make sure they're touching. So now we have a hyperdrive jump range of 334. That'll help out significantly with finding other systems. Alright, so we're at 130,000 per upgrade. Now we also have 6.4 million units. At this point in time, you can start to do a couple different things. Graha brought up the interesting point of the wiring looms, so we're going to switch to wiring looms now. And you can also, once you get that much, that many units, you can scrap a ship or two and get your upgrades for your suit or for your ship that way. So now we're going to go to wiring looms, and we can buy all of the wiring looms in this system. Turn back around and we're going to sell the wiring looms again. Go back to buy. Now see, when you're dealing with this, it's not really affecting the market significantly. So that's why I tend to wait a little while longer. We're pretty much just going to buy everything we can.
Daniel Hipley says, abandoned building, destroying alien eggs turned nanites.
That's great unless you're on permadeath and you don't want to die to monstrosities, which I'm on permadeath and don't want to die to monstrosities.
Graha says the magic number for him seems to be between 85 and 100 for max market drop.
Gotcha. Alright, now we're going to go back to Seshimat because we did not do wiring looms there. So we haven't affected the price there yet. Now I'm doing this a little bit faster than I normally would do, and I've bounced around a little quicker. I would have normally done about another 10 stations worth of the economic items before moving on to the Cobalt, and I would have done about 10 more stations of the Cobalt before moving on to the wiring looms. And by that point I'd probably have about 100 million units and have no problem. And I'd also have 20 more slots. So now we need to go to sell and the wiring looms. Now basically what this has done is by getting ahead of myself, I've kind of screwed myself out of a lot of the stuff for that. Because if you notice, for the 1.1 million units we have, we've only affected the market by a third. It's not quite going to do it. So instead of going back to do that and get 30 and knock it down a little further and further and further, we're actually going to go back to the Cobalt loop, but we're going to jump to a brand new station. If you make a mistake, it's not catastrophic. You know, even though we're down to 1.1 million units and we were up to 6, you can pretty much start this process over at any time. Excuse me.
Daniel Hipley, salvage data can be turned into nanites too. That is correct, although this early in the game, salvage data is kind of important, buying your upgrades and such. And it does take a fair bit of time in order to get enough to make a good amount of nanites.
Alright, now that we have a better jump range, we can actually hit more systems. And again, we're looking for... That's actually got a pretty decent buy-sell ratio. The 65.8 is a little low, but the other number was actually on the higher side. But here's a high supply with really crappy numbers. But we're going to go to high supply because we want a Viking and we want an opulent system to get lots and lots of the Cobalt that we're going back to. I do apologize for my voice being a little bit off today. My sinuses are totally wrecked. I've been sniffling, sneezing, coughing, and barking for the last 24 hours. I've been trying to mute myself as much as possible. If I do cough on stream, I apologize. I'm not trying to blast your ears. They just sneak up on me every once in a while.
Noth Ghost says, just feed the fat guy on the Nexus stellar custard. Tons of nanites that way.
Now, honestly, I keep hearing that they've increased the number of nanites for the cooking missions and everything. And once you get to a certain point in gameplay, I wholeheartedly agree that if you've got a bunch of these things waiting around, my favorite way to get a whole bunch of nanites, though, is ship scrapping. I've found that with the addition of that to the game, once you get up to about 50 million units in your account, by doing things like what I'm doing here, you can scrap through A-class ships all day long and walk away with a couple 100,000 nanites pretty quickly. You know, particularly if you happen to come across an S-class system that has a lot of S-class ships, or even better, a first wave exotic system. I would much rather sit there and scrap ships than have to make, you know, a bunch of custards or pies, and then sit there and feed them to him one at a time. It's just obnoxiously long. I did not mean to talk to Celine.
Daniel Hipley, yes, gold and silver do make platinum. Platinum you can refine into nanites, but they actually nerfed the amount you get. It used to be, what, I think it was 50 to 1. And now it's 5 to 1, I think.
I don't know. I haven't done it in so long.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't quote me on those numbers, but
there are so many ways to make nanites right now, though. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Now, the other advantage of getting into scrapping ships early on, too, is you can upgrade your starship to have a higher capacity and start carrying double units in that, and then selling off to not the travelers, but the pilots in the space stations on a lot of things, too.
Noth goes to correct me. It is 35 to 1 for platinum to nanites. Still not great. You're right. But again, like Timo said, there's so many different ways to get nanites. They made it pretty easy.
Definitely have a lot more options now than we did 6 months ago.
It used to be really hard to get nanites.
That's true, but they also increased the rare asteroid counts dramatically, so it's a lot easier to find platinum in starfields. Not starfields, but asteroid fields. Alright, so can't buy all those.
The quickest way I've found to get platinum is the same way you get the salvage frigate modules, and that is attacking freighters.
Did I get the... I did not. Let me go get the suit upgrade first. Yep. That's pretty much what I do, Graha. Alright, so I'm going to buy this first. We're now up to 150,000 units. What's in the box? Game got mad at me for not buying it.
Galaxy said he will be using Streamlabs for his stream later on, which is awesome, buddy.
Alright.
Oh, North Ghost. No worries, man. Thanks for stopping by. He said he's got to run, but he'll be back.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Now, if you want also, when you find that Hyperdrive S, you could do your quick save and reload and get another one. I did not on this particular run. Alright, so let's see how much Cobalt I can get. I also have not been getting the mission agents like a moron.
So what you're doing here, let's see if I understand this, is you're buying as much Cobalt as you can, and then you're selling it back to them at a loss to get it cheaper.
That's the way that you're supposed to. And it basically just crashes the economy. Now I've kind of why is this? It's messing up on me. Sorry, guys. The Galactic Trade Terminal glitched on me on that one. That was kind of weird.
So the key to this would be you're going to take a loss on the first system
Yes.
that you pick up the Cobalt in. But at every other subsequent system, you're crashing the market first and then buying the Cobalt at a much cheaper rate.
Correct. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, Graha says as soon as I land, I sell all of it, then buy it back, plus what the station had at a 30 to 60% discount. So yeah, just in case anybody was wondering, you do take a hit on the first system, but after that, you'll be making a very good portion of profit. D. Morty says, in economics, this is called pumping and dumping.
Exactly.
It's a good thing Noth Ghost has already left the building.
Alright, now we have totally tanked that market. Alright. So now we're back in business on the Cobalt. Stuck on a table, but you know, that happens.
Hashtag under the influence. Oh, Noth Ghost had not left the building.
Oh.
D. Morty, welcome to Bad Quotes 2020. You're in good company.
Alright. Change our filter to a life form. Look for the Vy'keen. There's a nice opulent one right there. Buy-sell ratio sucks, but it's an opulent system, so it will maximize our amount that we can purchase. Mama Doc system. Alright, we have warped 10 times.
Nice.
Now I do want to see how much funds we have on hand. We have 373. See, we didn't get enough to actually fill everything up, but we will on this station. So what we need to do now is planetary interference my butt. See, like there's platinum right there. I never really seem to have a problem finding platinum. You also get a lot of platinum when you run frigate missions, because you'll get lemium, uranium, and the other crafted metals that break down into gold, silver, and platinum as mission rewards. Another good way of getting nanites is speaking to this vendor and that vendor with your milestones. Or if you figure out what the second vendor is actually looking to purchase every day, whether it's storm crystals or something else, then bringing those to them. One of the really cool things about this game is there are just so many options for doing things these days. Alright, so that was 160,000.
Mary Lizzie says, Noth Ghost lulls you into saying things by saying he's leaving. A good way to test this is wait for someone else to say something quote-worthy.
And into the Roradon we go.
Graha says my issue is finding dihydrogen jelly for my frigates. Platinum is generally easy.
So I figured out not a solution to that, but a way to make it a little easier on me. When I go through, especially when I'm setting up trade routes, because when I set up trade routes, what I'll normally do is I'll actually rename the system TR1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth, so that I start at 1 and just keep going down the line. Once you've been to the station, you can just teleport at that point in time. But if there is a system that has dihydrogen jelly at the Galactic Trade Terminal, I will then go and put that in the name, so it'll be like TR6 DHJ. That way, if I ever need to go back someplace that I know has dihydrogen jelly, it's an easy way to do it. Alright, 170,000.
Now, how long does it take for the economy to reset?
That's actually a pretty decent question, but it's also a pretty complicated answer. There's no... I don't know what the exact time is, because it depends on the type of system, where it's located, and what part of the time frame you do everything. It normally takes several days. It's not something that it's not going to reset in 3 hours. It's not going to reset in 2 hours. It's not going to reset every time you reload your autosave. You're going to have to stay away from a system that you've crashed for a little while before it will reset. And by a little while, I mean normally about a week.
So this is something that you would have
People
to...
bomb.
What's up, buddy? So this is something you would have to kind of do all at once?
When you start your first trade route, like when you're doing the system that I'm doing today, basically what you're going to do is you would want to set up probably about 25 locations within your trade route, and that will generate you a decent number of locations that you can hit, and give you the ability to jump to a lot of places and give you a decent amount of money at the end. But then if you wanted to do it again, you'd have to either wait a week or set up another trade route. So
Okay.
you can do multiples. But then the other thing that you can do is once you get to a certain amount of cash, you start out with the economy items, and then you switch to Cobalt. You go back to Trade Route 1 and start the Cobalt at Trade Route 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And after you go through all 25, then you go back to number 1 and you start with wiring looms and hit it all again. So you can actually hit the same trade route 3 times with 3 different items, and you end up making a lot of money.
Okay.
That's a neat looking little explorer right there.
So,
Interesting
Beeble
color
Bum,
scheme.
how's the capture card working out for you, buddy? Haven't seen you to ask you.
Alright, so now that we've done this, we're going to sell all of this Cobalt here. And that's going to crash the market. Go ahead.
Beeble Bum says he loves that Explorer. Are you
That
referring
orange
to
one?
Yeah.
Now, if you love that Explorer, this is a permadeath save, but I will pop up some coordinates for you here, buddy. There are some coordinates right there. If you want to take a real quick screenshot, now's the time to do it.
Oh, Shard Vixen just popped in to say have a great stream. Just stop by to share and support by giving a like.
Why, thank you, Shard Vixen. Much appreciated.
That's awesome.
Alright, now we have found a traveler. So we're going to take a little side trip here.
Yes, Beeble Bum, this is Euclid. Mary Lizzie says she's got to go do litter boxes. She'll be back in a bit.
Sorry to hear that. Alright, so what we're going to have to do here Because I did notice something. The jump drive, or the hyperdrive, is out of fuel. So we're going to need to make more warp cores. To do that, we're going to need antimatter and antimatter housings. But we also want to go do this grave real quick. You know, I didn't talk to him the second time. I am so scatterbrained today, guys. I am so sorry. Talked to the traveler once, didn't actually get his grave location. Yeah, people bum, I actually never leave Euclid. And this is a new permadeath save. I'm only about 9 hours into it. What's up, Patrick? How you doing, buddy? Alright, this is one of the other really cool things about coming into all these different space stations. While this is a C-class, that looks just like Thumper. And that is a max-size fighter body right there. There's another one right there. There's another C-class. And here you go, people. Well, here's the actual, here's the Explorer again.
People Bum says he's using a Turtle Beach headset. And I connected the whole thing to the Mac. I'll be using it for streaming. So far it all works. I just need to stream live to get 100% sure. Awesome, dude.
I'm going to take a quick photo here for People Bum if I remember to upload it. And then I'm also going to take another quick photo of these fighters. So that I have that for my own personal use. Alright, so I needed to talk to the traveler before I get distracted yet again. Squirrel!
Peace candy.
Peace candy. Where'd she go? There he is. Little ball-headed traveler. That right there is one of my favorite words in the English language. Dongle.
Dongle.
I actually didn't know what a dongle was until I bought the laser for the leatherworking business, because it has a proprietary set of software, and I have to plug the dongle in every time I want to use it. And I just considered it a control key. I figured would be the proper words, but when I lost it, I had to buy a new one. I was trying to explain to the guy what I was looking for, and he's like, "Oh, you mean the dongle?" Like, what the heck is a dongle? So he told me what a dongle was. I was like, "Yep, that's what I need." All right, so we have aggressive sentinels on this one.
Graha just picked up the Turtle Beach Stealth 600 headset, which is actually what I use. It's what I'm talking on right now. I do have one complaint about it though. It's not near as comfortable as some of the other ones. The fabric that they make, the padded ear pieces out of, is not the most comfortable.
That is a very neat looking cave. Look at that, guys. That is almost perfectly round, like a sandworm dug it or something.
Yeah.
So we're going to identify a mineral or two while we're here. That's actually pretty good. It's like a lava tube. It splits off like multiple worms are in the lava tube. Spent some time chatting with Deavante earlier while I was playing Farming Simulator 19. That's right, Big Farmer Timo in the house today.
Yeah. I got him hooked, guys.
He did. He did. Nothing like going in there and just farming it up.
If you guys didn't catch the live stream the other night, we were playing Farming Simulator 19, and aside from the Grand Theft Farmville that we were playing, Farming Simulator 19 for me is kind of a chill game. It allows me to just sit back and veg out.
Even more so than No Man's Sky.
Yeah, even more so than No Man's Sky. Now, Big Farmer Timo is hooked. Make sure you guys go back and watch Big Papa Timo's live stream from this morning. Daniel Hipley says we need farm worm. Yeah, I'm sorry,
farm worms.
We
need farm worms. Words hard. All right, so what I do need to do is I need some chromatic metal because I think I have 15 back at base. So I'm going to check the Galactic Trade Terminal over here. See, I was also neglecting the double nanites while I was here. Good job. Way to go, Timo. Alright. No on that, but there is copper. So I'm going to grab a stack of copper real quick. Gotta remember I'm on permadeath. I can only do stacks of 500 for a single stack, not 9,999.
Apparently North Coast is still here, because he says, if you have worms in your lava tube, can please consult a Gek doctor immediately.
I don't think I want to trust a Gek doctor with my lava tube.
Hashtag space the Gek.
Hashtag space the Gek.
Beeblebum says, so far connected the USB of my Turtle Beach headset to the Mac, then connected the 3.5mm jack to my TV, then connected the PS4 mic jack to my Turtle Beach controller. That
Wait, what?
yeah, it seems kind of complicated. Although I get the workaround. He connected the Turtle Beach headset to the computer, so he didn't need the chat link cable for the Elgato. I get that part. But your Turtle Beach also has a 3.5mm jack, or did you connect the Mac to the TV? And then the PS4 mic jack to the Turtle Beach controller. So you're using a separate mic.
I'm so confused.
Okay. Yeah, Beeblebum, if you are not... I'll drop the links to some Discord channels here. Please do drop some pictures and a little bit of explanation on that system.
Alright, so I do need to do some real quick refining.
So once again, I'd like to give credit where credit is due. Big Papa Timo and I are both feeling the effects of Western Pennsylvania weather.
Gotta love it.
Where we were a couple days ago, it was freezing, snow on the ground. Yesterday it was 60, almost 70 degrees here.
We broke a record yesterday.
Yeah. Today it's still pretty warm out, and that is wreaking havoc with our sinuses.
Yes. Heat keeps turning on and off. Open windows yesterday, and then had to turn the heat back on at night. And that got windy again today. And actually here it's not that warm. It's supposed to get up to 50 today. We hit 65 yesterday, but it does not feel like that with the wind blowing. Does not feel like that with the wind blowing at all.
I don't know if you guys can hear the clinking in the background every so often. It's actually my pellet stove turning on and off.
Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to put copper in there. There we go.
Let me catch up on chat here. Beeblebum, the Turtle Beach has a USB and a jack. Cable comes from the controller. Volume, chat, sound, travel, USB to the Mac, the jack. Okay, no problem. Yeah, just drop me some pictures. Graha says, hey, am I the only one who misses the join random game? I met/found many cool players. Many just starting out miss that feature. North Ghost says, YouTube has recommended a video to him of a dude cuddling with a freaking cheetah.
Now, is that the video of 5 people cuddling with animals in the cutest way? Because I got that same one today.
How did you?
Number 5 is a giant anaconda cuddling with somebody in the Amazon. Does not end well for the person. But it's very cute if you like anacondas.
Not so cute if you like people.
No. Personally, I don't like either one, so.
Yeah. I'm not a fan myself of either.
You'd figure as a streamer I'd be much more social than I am, but I'm a relatively antisocial individual. But I love you all. So I did go get some glitches. Sorry, go ahead.
We have 11 watching and 16 thumbs up.
Wow. That is a lot of extra thumbs, guys. I think some of you might be using your toes. And I'm not complaining at all.
Yeah.
All right, while I'm here, I'm going to throw some rusted metal in here to do this, get that started.
Ooh.
But we're not going to watch that. We're just going to prep for other things.
Let me ask you, stream lag, it's real, but hey, what are those glitches floating above your storage unit there?
Okay, so the glitches were actually from a fractured planet I went to. These are glitching separators. Let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit so that you can see what they look like. I was beginning my glitch collection.
Ooh. Snazzy.
And they were just taking up space in my inventory while I was trying to put stuff in storage, so I just put them on top of the storage device. Alright, so we have gone ahead and gotten everything ready on that. We now have a hyperdrive range of 615.2 because I put yet another hyperdrive module in there.
Awesome.
So now we're going to go ahead and break atmosphere, break atmo, as some of us say, and make another jump and go sell some cobalt.
Going vertical. People Bum says left and right hand for the thumbs up.
Nice. Now, I'm actually looking for any opulent system at this point in time, because I like to have a few more in there other than just Vy'keen. Particularly when I start jumping for capital ships. I've found that I have much better luck for some odd reason with the Sentinel freighters when I jump to Corvaxian systems. Although I've gotten most of my ships recently, ironically, from Gek. 07 Captain Bob.
07 Captain Bob. Now, after you set these up, and like you said, you have your own naming convention there.
Correct.
For your trade route. Once you set these up, you can use the teleporter to save time here.
Yes, that's the true joy of setting this up and making all of these jumps. After a week, when you're ready to go just make some quick cash again, and you need to just flesh out your bank account a little bit, you just jump in the teleporter and start at number 1 in your system. Whatever your naming conventions are, I just highly recommend that you number them 1 through whatever. That way you know to start on number 1 and keep them in order for the way that you go. Now, I'm just randomly jumping from wealthy system to wealthy system at this point in time. If I was setting up a proper trade route, though, this would actually have to be in a very specific order, so that when I started with the trade items, the economy items, it would be from the correct system to the correct system for buying and selling. Now, once you get to a certain point in trade routes, though, you kind of avoid using those economic items because they're not nearly as profitable as things like wiring looms. But if you ever get down to the point where you have sold off so much, or you've bought so much stuff that you don't have a lot of money, if you only have, say, another 2 million units at the end of buying 140 million Sentinel S-Class freighter, you might need to replenish your stocks, and you can start again with all of those things. So if you set it up correctly the first time, it makes it a lot easier if you ever need to start from scratch again. Is my lush planet safe? What do you mean there, Daniel? It's relatively safe.
I think he was referring to sentinels and storms kind of deal.
There are storms. They're not too god-awful bad, but they are occasional. There are very few predators, though, so it's a pretty safe lushy. It's actually the planet that I spawned in on.
So there's no predators then.
There are predators, but they're not aggressive towards me. They're only aggressive towards other creatures.
Right.
But if I need to go kill a predator, there actually are predators on the planet.
Graha says he prefers a Corvax crew for his freighter. They're mostly sentinels, but he's gotten a few star destroyers from them as well.
I have found that I think that Hello Games has mixed it up a little bit more, that you have a different chance now of getting the Star Destroyers in Corvaxian systems, and then the Gek system you have a kind of an equal chance of getting the Star Destroyer or the Sentinels. And Vy'keen I've gotten both in as well, so it used to seem to me that you'd get the Star Destroyers in the Vy'keen, the Sentinels in the Corvax, and then it was a toss-up in Gek, leaning more towards Star Destroyers, but I don't see those percentages matching up anymore. Alright, so we're going to spend 180,000 units on this one. That means the station's going to be 190. While these are getting expensive, I'm not that concerned with it, because I think I have the finances to support spending $250,000 on the storage units. And actually, I get to move so fast on these eventually that even spending 1 million units per storage upgrade is acceptable to me at some point in time.
Now that may not be acceptable to other people, especially if you don't have, if, you know, maybe you're late to the game and you're just starting your trade route. Once you get up above 100,000 units for a suit slot, if you're trying to save cash, you can buy a drop pod coordinate data and save yourself some money. It'll take a little more time to get the slot, but if you're hard up on cash, that's another way to do it.
Alright, so I totally missed the tractor beam on that one. Now, we had already discussed the drop pod coordinate data and the multiple methods of acquiring them, whether it's actually purchasing them for less than 100,000 units apiece, or doing the exosuit or the exocraft upgrades. There's a lot of other things to do on that, so I'm not really going to get into it today.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of options for doing this, a lot of different ways.
And that's one of the things that makes No Man's Sky great, is the fact that there are multiple different ways to do the same thing. So if you don't like doing it, doing the grind, or how did Lizzie put it, the explore, and you know, kind of take your time doing it, then you can do it this way and kind of speed through it, get yourself up to some units, and get to the same result either way. However,
I like
you
the little
want to
horns
do it.
on that. That's cute.
Yeah. Almost an alien.
Almost. Alien wannabe. Now, the other thing that I tend to do is I keep a lot of notes. I have a notepad right next to my gaming area. When I'm doing this on my own and I'm not trying to force through it for a stream, I will actually go through all of these vendors and I'll make notes on who has what, so that when I want to go back and find an A class or an S class upgrade module or something like that, I've got it written down somewhere. I really should just do it as a database at some point in time, but I'm too lazy to do databases.
Now, didn't I hear you mention once before that you put that information in your naming convention?
Sometimes, like when I find dihydrogen jelly, I would add that to the trade route number, so it would be like TR6 DHJ. So, like, this particular system doesn't have dihydrogen jelly, so I wouldn't add that to it. Now, one of the other things, when you check the trade terminals on both sides, if the DHJ or the dihydrogen jelly was on the other side and not this side, that would be a DHJL for left side.
Ah.
So it's one of those little knick-knacky things that makes my life that much easier. So if you're ever watching me stream on my regular save, you'll see some really weird-looking names on a lot of these. Now, I actually do need to sell the Cobalt and then buy the rest of the Cobalt. But before I do that, I need to make sure that my inventory is... See, it was not clear. Alright, so sell the Cobalt. And sell all the Cobalt. I'm going to buy the Cobalt. Hopefully we'll be able to buy all of the Cobalt.
We officially have Galaxy Void's undivided attention again. He's all done.
Cool. That's good, because I'm actually doing this stream just for you, Galaxy. I'm pretty sure most of the people in here are have their own systems for advancing their unit counts. Especially with some of the suggestions that we've had dropped in here. But it's always nice to see how other people do it. One of the biggest things that I hate is seeing some of the videos out there that say, oh, make, 500 million units in an hour, but you have to do like 20 days of setup time to get to that point. That doesn't really help the newer players if they're trying to figure out how to do it right off the bat. This is a system that, while not the best, most economical system, can work literally for anybody with any amount of money, so long as you can afford to buy dirt at some place for 46 units per item. There's a high supply on the Corvax. Let's hit that one. And you're welcome.
You've been off ghosted again. It's always nice to see how other people do it. Big Poppa Timo 2020. Are we having technical difficulties, Timo?
We are. I was muted. I'm sorry. My apologies, guys. I felt a sneeze coming on. I muted myself, and then I forgot to unmute it.
Daniel Hipley says he might buy the alien head Percy's today or tomorrow.
I did not mean to take off. I hit the wrong button. Alright, so Big Poppa Timo is going to turn right around and go right back into the station. So, Noth, I think since I was muted, you didn't get a chance to get that quote. That's probably a better thing. I said I was going to give you an easy one and spit one out, and shit, I just did it again. Excuse my language, guys. No, don't take. I almost took off again. Noth, you're messing me up here, buddy. Remember, kids, Big Poppa Timo's streams are all PG-13 or better. This channel is not designed for children.
Apparently it is not designed for music either.
No, so there's a funny story behind that. So while we were doing our first impression of Farming Simulator 19, there's actually a pretty cool feature in there that allows you to play the in-game radio while you're running around playing Grand Theft Iowa. And I found a nice electro channel that had a pretty decent upbeat set of songs on it. And I think I was playing the radio for, what, about an hour and a half?
Yeah, something like that.
While I was playing. And so this is live streaming, and I didn't think anything of it, but at the end of the stream, yeah, we went fairly late that night, so I went to bed, and I didn't even wait for my Stream Elements to send me my stream report or anything else like that. And I wake up the next morning, and I have 49 notifications from YouTube. I thought that a bunch of my friends had been streaming the night before, or that people had commented on things, or maybe I had a couple new subscribers, and these were all, in fact, true. Ballisticola was streaming. I got a notification of that. Reaper had uploaded a video. I got a notification of that. Mary Lizzie had gone live. Got a notification of that. Somebody had given me a thumbs up on a comment. Got that. And I got 30 copyright claim IDs, or copyright ID claims against that stream, because every one of those songs came up on the YouTube automatic search feature for copyright infringement. Now, I don't have a problem with this. I just thought it was funny. There's the Touch of War in B class. That's unfortunate. But it was the first time I had copyright ID claims come against me. They're not strikes against the account. It just says that you can't monetize that stream unless you want those people to get all of your ad revenues or anything else like that. Now, my channel is not yet monetized, so I don't really have to worry about it, but it was funny that I got 30 copyright claims off of one stream. 30 individual copyright claims.
Big Poppa Timo breaking the rules. Breaking the law.
It didn't break any laws. Yet.
Galaxy Void is requesting that you sing Take On Me.
I'm not doing AHA today. I'm all stuffed up and my voice sucks. Alright, so I'm in a Corvaxian system looking for the Viking double nanites. Doesn't work that way, Timo. And you need to go to the Galactic Trade Terminal to sell all your Cobalt.
Yes, Daniel Hipley. It is the joys of having a YouTube channel.
Yes, it is.
Well, Galaxy, this is a really good kind of tip for you because you're just starting out. If Timo wanted to monetize that particular video, he could go and dispute each individual claim because it's an in-game soundtrack. Now, he did make a very good point yesterday when we were talking about this, that it's possible that the developers did not buy all the rights to that music. They just paid to use it in their game. So he may or may not win that dispute. But for the, like he said, since his channel is not monetized, it's not that big of a deal. And even if it was monetized, he could just not monetize that particular video.
Alright, while Reaper was explaining that, I knew that I had 14,523 Cobalt available to me. I don't have the space for that, so what I was doing real quick is I pulled up the calculator on my computer, or might be helpful playing a game like No Man's Sky to have a calculator handy real quick. I have 46 slots available in my exosuit, and you can hold up to 250 Cobalt per slot, so I can hold 11,500. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just drop this number down to 11,500, and it should fill my inventory completely. And next time I'll be able to carry 12,000 because I'll have another 2 slots at 250 apiece. So again, if you guys ever watch us play 7 Days to Die, their inventory feature has a real cool thing. Like over here, you could actually take the cursor, put it over here, hit your X button, and it allows you to enter a numeric entry in all by itself. Whoops. See, I'm doing too much. I'm trying to get ahead of myself. I hope that No Man's Sky at some point in time institutes something like that, because I would love to be able to just type in 11,500 right now instead of trying to sit here and hold the left D-pad down to get to this, because I always screw up. See, it went too far. I gotta push this one at a time. Alright, so we are now full up on Cobalt in here. We're going to get 2 more slots in here before we start working on the cargo slots. And we have 2.2 million units at the moment. We're going to make our way back up to that higher number. Now, let me go ahead and do another jump here. I'm kind of looking for a GEC system right now because I've got a lot of Viking and Corvax.
Welcome back, Beeble Bum.
Welcome back. Excuse me. Don't mean to be sniffling in y'all's ears. There's an opulent GEC right there. Let's hit that one. Now, Galaxy, you said seriously that's just petty. You were just playing a game. Yes and no. Here's how I feel about copyright stuff. Those artists created that music specifically, from their own abilities and everything. I do not want to be responsible for them losing any revenue from said music. This is where Napster really hurt the music industry years ago, and the fact that nowadays anybody can go out and download any music they want in the world without paying for it. That's what we call piracy. Um, if you download a movie without paying for it, that's piracy. There are a lot of people involved. A lot of people invest a lot of time, energy, and money into it. Something that I create, I want to get paid for. It's what I do for a living. I make leather stuff. I don't want somebody else to come in, buy my things, break it apart, pattern it out, and then sell it at the same event that I do for less money. So I want those artists to be able to get that money. But it was something I didn't think of because, like Reaper said, it was in-game music. And the other thing is, it wasn't really petty on YouTube's part because it was just an automated system that flagged it as saying, hey, you've put somebody else's registered song in your video, and if I was making money off of that, like say I had done a music video off of somebody else's song and I made money off of it, and they didn't, that's wrong. Or at least in my eyes, that's pretty wrong. So I don't have a problem with it, especially since it was copyright ID claims where the automated system said, hey, look, you might not have known this, but there was a copyrighted song in your video that you played. Now, when you had California has a case on the books where a video blogger was walking through a shopping mall one day doing their vlog, and as they were walking past all the different stores, each individual store was playing different music, and they got a bunch of copyright infringement claims brought against them because their video actually had several million hits on it, and they were making money off of it, but they weren't intentionally putting music on it. They were just walking around and just happened to pick up accidental broadcasts of music. So the California courts actually said, there was no malice involved in this. They weren't trying to monetize specifically off the music. It just happened to be there. So it was the occasional or accidental use clause for copyright stuff.
Let's see, let me catch up here a little bit. Northco said far more damaging to the music industry was the resistance to change. It was clear that content delivery was moving to online space in a big way, and resistance to that meant slow reaction. Contrast that with the film and television, which embraced streaming. They fared way better. All valid points. Daniel Hipley says starships have 21 on tech, 21 slots on tech. I wish exosuits had that. I agree. And Galaxy Void said okay, because I thought someone actually watched your videos and just picked out different songs from that game. Now, it like Timo said, it's all automated. But I know everybody complains about the copyright claim system and all that, but think of it in simple terms, Galaxy. If you made a video and I took your stream or your video and I started making money off of it and didn't give you anything, that's kind of a bum deal for you. And that's what it's there to protect.
Yep. Now again, just so everybody knows, this was a fully automated system, and the other important thing to know is that each one of those artists took the time to register their specific music with YouTube so that it would be protected. So they were under the impression that YouTube's system is there to protect them, which it is, and that's not a bad thing. So like I said, I don't have a problem with it. I would love to believe that somebody was actually going to sit there and watch my stream to look for for stuff that some record executive in California was watching Big Farmer Timo? No, it was just a computer. It was an AI, and
Ooh.
it's there specifically for protection.
Sword coming in with some sound advice. You should claim fair use on all of those Timo. While copyright claims won't take down your channel, it may delay your review when you reach your monetization goals.
Excellent point, Sword. So I haven't had the full opportunity, and Sword, I know that you've had um, potential run-ins before with some of the things that you use, particularly I believe the Final Fantasy music from Cloud when people sign up. So I've been paying attention to when you bring those things up. The the process for YouTube with us as content creators is pretty clouded on how you deal with these things. I was given a notice on 30 individual songs that were played during my video, and I can appeal them all individually. And I can also claim fair use as Sword said. Um, and as he just said right there, fair use puts the claim in the hands of the creator to decide if they wish to pursue the claim. It's an excellent point, and again, we all need to pay attention to this as creators, and it was eye opening for me as to what I have to be aware of while myself, Reaper, and Jenny were all prepping for streaming the other night. I was listening to music on my computer, so my speakers were playing music that I was not in-game stuff that may have accidentally ended up in a stream if I had not turned it off beforehand, and that would have not been something that was intended that way. I was listening to a band that may not have taken it quite so well because their music is not in Farming Simulator 19. So it just opens up a lot of the things that we do have to be careful, and we have to pay attention, and it was interesting. I really liked getting 49 notifications from YouTube the next morning. I got all excited thinking I had a whole bunch of subscribers, but that wasn't quite the case.
Big Papa Timo was hoping that his Farming Simulator 19 was going viral.
I thought I had broken 200 subscribers. That's what I was hoping for.
Oh, come on, I haven't even broken 100 yet. Let's see, where are we at here? North Coast says, I was pretty astonished to see Tool release their whole album to YouTube along with their back catalog. Yeah, that was actually a pretty big deal. And Sword says, most of the time with games and music creators, they will usually ignore it as the claim is released in 30 days when the claim expires. So basically, that would say if they don't respond to your fair use claim, then the claim just goes away. If I understand that right, Sword.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, guys. So now we have full inventory on the Cobalt. We're going to be doing 12,000 at a shot here. So I think what we're going to do here is we're probably going to hit a couple stations, get a decent amount of space cheddar, as Hawks Gaming will say it. See, I gotta make sure you give people credit, and this is why I like Nothghost the for this reason in particular. Dropping the bombs on the bad quotes of 2020. Make sure that everybody's properly credited with who actually said the thing. Yeah, so getting back to the copyright ID claim, the other thing is YouTube specifically has multiple forms of copyright claims. This is just a claim stating that the automated system picked up on the fact that I did have potential problems. Now, each one of those creators of the music will get a notification that somebody's video had some stuff. Now, I would imagine that these particular artists may have it set up that they know that these videos or these songs are going to come up fairly frequently because it's in a game that gets streamed on YouTube every once in a while. Yeah, and they'll see that it's coming from YouTube, and they may just ignore it because they don't expect anything to come from it. But if my channel had 1 million subscribers, this would be a much bigger deal, because if I was monetized and I was making money off of this, that's where you get a lot of the problems. Reaper and I were discussing that there are people out there and there are companies out there that actually target content creators and musicians and stuff like that and put in claims against them, knowing that their claim is actually fraudulent, that they don't really own the rights to something, knowing that roughly 10 to 15% of all of the claims are just going to be ignored, so they're going to make money off of 10 to 15% of all of those claims. Patent attorneys deal with this all the time as well. One of my sisters is a patent trademark attorney. She deals with fraudulent claims against Cadbury, the Nestle Corporation. People file claims against them that they're using their specific formulation of a type of chocolate or some food product, thinking that Nestle is so busy that they're just going to ignore it and that they're going to make a little bit of extra money off of the company. Whereas, in fact, the Nestle Corporation specifically hired my sister to deal with fraudulent claims. So every time one does come up, they send a power attorney after those people. Whereas with stuff like this, a lot of the times small creators don't have time to do it, so they lose the monetization rights of a single video. Might not be a big deal, might only be a couple dollars here or there, but the people that are stealing that copyright claim are now making a couple dollars here or there, and from a lot of different people.
I want to break in here and drop a shout out. We have 15 watching and 17 likes. So if you guys, if you guys are not subscribed to Sword's channel, what is wrong with you? Go and check him out. He is a wealth of information.
And a fine, upstanding individual.
Yes, a member of No Man's Sky royalty. Oh, yeah. Christopher Sunsdahl, what is up, my man?
Welcome, Christopher. How are you doing today?
Yeah, definitely go check out Sword on the tubes of you.
I didn't mean to talk to Celine again.
Yeah, he's got a thing for Celine.
It's that tongue. Alright, so I don't want to do the technology. I'm going to switch to cargo. Now, this is a glitch, isn't it? The 500,000 on the cargo?
Yes, the second cargo slot that you buy is glitched at 500,000. Once you get past that slot, it drops back down again.
So the next one's probably going to be 200,000 because I'm well advanced into the slot purchasing process.
Yeah. And I believe Jeffus Lives is the one that pointed that out to me.
Excellent.
Galaxy says, "Ooh, I don't want to hear you say that about Celine again."
Touche.
Oh, yeah. That's because Noth Ghost said, "Hey, I bet Celine could rap that whole tongue." Yada yada yada.
Alrighty.
I saw you sneak that in there. Hashtag Space the Gak.
Captain Bob 07.
07 Captain Bob.
I totally missed that. Alright, for lava lamps, let's go see what's in the box.
Hashtag what's in the box.
Alright, we have a B class. We found better today already. I think they're telling me something again with all these geology cannon upgrades. They want me to blow myself up.
Yeah. Yep. Public services announcement, kids. Words hard. Stay away from the geology cannon, especially on permadeath.
Alright, so I'm actually going to go to this side for the Cobalt. For no particular reason other than I'm hoping that it's actually not here to sell, which it was, because I crashed the market over here and there's more than 12,000. So now I have to scroll all the way back down to 12,000. Ooh, actually, nope. Gonna hold on a second. So what we're gonna do here now is we're gonna send that to the Starship. Send that to the Starship. No room for the carbon. Alright, so we can get another 1,000 units. So we can do 13,000 now, because we did get another cargo slot. And that is part of your exosuit inventory, even though it's not in the basic part. So when you sell off, it will be in this number again. Oh, pushing the wrong button. Sorry guys, bear with me. Got to run this down to 12,000 or 13,000. And again, I apologize about the sniffles.
Beeble Bum says, alright, time for a shower. Maybe see you later, depending on how long you keep streaming. Well, thanks for stopping by, Beeble Bum. We always appreciate it when you come and hang out with us.
Yeah, always good to see you. Now, our intention today is actually to stream right up until Zane starts streaming. We're not exactly sure when that's going to be. Probably sometime right around the 2:30 mark.
I will let you know as soon as I find out.
Maybe Mr. Sword has some insight into that. Sometimes he has amazing tidbits of information nobody else does. He may know some secret plans. He might not. You never know. Alright, so we've got a whole bunch of stuff here. Now I'm going to look at what's in my Starship, because I did notice something kind of strange. I have 4 silver, the 5 nav data, which I keep picking up more, which I kind of shouldn't at the moment.
You already sold it once today.
I did sell the nav data once, so I could actually get rid of the silver and the nav data and then pick up another 2,000 cobalt by shifting the cargo stuff over there. So what I'm actually going to do here, I know we're actually going for units and they're not worth all that much, so I'm just going to delete them. Don't tell anybody I did that. That's a horrible thing to do. You should sell it.
Sword says probably 2 Eastern Standard Time. He was up late on a call with him last night.
See, that's why I asked Sword, because he knows those secret bits of information. Alright, so we're going to go to another 2,000, or sorry, another 1,000. Yes, let's go the other way because it'll be faster. I really do hate doing this by hand like this. Alright, so now we've got another 1,000 in there. There we go. And we get to see another pretty ship. Forgot where I parked mine. Alright, so we're going to launch the Roaring on. And what are we up to on units now? Got 4.6 before selling. It does take a while to get up to that 10 million mark that I'm always looking for. But once you do, it goes a lot faster from that point forward because you start going into a much higher profit margin on the wiring looms. But you need to make sure that you have enough wiring looms to actually crash the market, which takes a little bit of an investment to do. Alright, there's a wealthy Viking system. Let's take that one. Now again, while I'm showing you this, when I do these myself, I tend to have spent a little bit more time on my starship where I'll have an explorer that's better than a C-class, and I'll have the hyperdrive range around 1500, if not higher, as close to 3000 as I can get, so that I have a lot better shot. And then I am a lot more picky about the buy-sell ratios that I go for. I won't hit a station with less than a 70-20 ratio for my trade routes specifically. Now I'll fill up my travel log with a bunch of different places, but the ones that I specifically do for the trade routes, I focus on that just so that I'm totally maximizing profits across the board. And it's one of those things that when I do it, I take the time to do it the way that I want it specifically. And you guys can figure out whatever system works best for you and do it that way. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, sneezing fit.
Bless you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions so far?
We're up to 18 watching and 17 likes. Awesome, guys. You know, we really appreciate every time you smash that like button.
Really appreciate every time you watch a stream. Stop by, say hi, lurk, do whatever you want. We do appreciate the support, though. And I do appreciate everybody's patience with my medications kind of messing with my head today. Alright, so we're up to 100,000 units on that upgrade. So it went from 500,000 to 100,000. Silly glitch. Now my intention was to basically just go through the entire process and get all of my suit upgrades. So I wasn't really worried about bouncing back and forth between getting cargoes first and regular suit upgrades second. But when you're doing this for yourself, you kind of should focus on that until the prices start to even out. Get the cargoes first because it does hold more items for you. You'll be able to stack more Cobalt or whatever material you're hauling in the cargo slots. You'll be able to basically double that. Now, if you're on a normal save, if we were on a normal save, we'd actually probably be into the 100 million units by now easily in the amount of time it's taken me, just because carrying around 900,000 or 9,999 of a particular item as opposed to the 250 of a permadeath is amazingly different. Now when you get into wiring looms, it's not so big of a deal because they still stack the same amounts, but for doing like a chlorine loop or a cobalt system, it changes the game dramatically.
That was one of the things that kind of shocked me when I started my first survival save, was the dramatic drop in the number there. Like you said, on a normal save you can have 9,999.
Ooh, look what we found, guys.
Oh, what did we find? Oh,
it's only a B class. But we are going to snap a pic. We're going to pull up the portal coordinates. Because if I'm not mistaken, there's a potential that this is an S-class on a planet, isn't there? Or is that only on the A-class?
I was going to say, the way the lava explained it to me, it's guaranteed on the A-class. B-class, not so much.
Gotcha. Well, I will drop those coordinates for Lava to investigate. Because he knows what he's doing, and I don't.
The most prolific multi-tool hunter in the galaxy.
Alright. Let's go get our nanites, guys. And gals. And they, thems. However you identify. Alright, got some Vy'keen standing. Not sure if I can actually pick that up. Hey, those were nanites too. Awesome. Nice big hauler right there. Big box hauler. I feel like to fly. Ooh, that's a double box hauler too. Look at that. That is a big hauler right there.
Pre-beyond, that used to signify a max size hauler there. Now it's more for looks than anything else.
Can haul just as much stuff as your radiant pillar.
Yep. Oh, that's a good question, Galaxy. Galaxy asks, what does standing do?
Oh, okay. Do you want to explain while I go back over to the other side and talk to one of the vendors over there?
So the standing refers to the guilds and the races. So with the races, you go into the space station, and once you get to a certain standing with that particular race, you can go to their envoy, and they will give you an item every day. With the guilds, your standing allows you to do more profitable missions.
And then race specifically, when you talk to these vendors over here, your prices change. The higher your standing, the cheaper these get. So if you see the Blaze Javelin right there is currently 589 nanites. That's because my standing with the Vy'keen sucks. The higher I get that, it'll probably drop all the way down to about 499 once I've maxed out my standing with the Vy'keen. Alright, so that was that one. I need to go to the Galactic Trade Terminal, sell off all of this Cobalt. Buy some more.
While you're over there, could you stop into one of the envoys just so Galaxy knows where they are?
Yes. Alright, so we're selling 14,000. We're buying 15,000. And notice we're up to 7.2 million right now. gosh, I'm pushing wrong buttons again. Alright,
Okay.
let's double check, make sure that we are full up. Gotta look at the exosuit. That's all full. Cargo's all full. Good. Alright, so when you're looking in here, Galaxy, when you come in through the teleporter, there's the cartographer on the right, the envoy in the center, and then the mission agent on the left. When you come talk to this guy here, basically saying, I don't have enough faction with him to get the gift. Go talk to this guy over here, get some jobs, because that'll help raise my faction. Now, when you look at the missions in here, you'll see like this one here, scan 3 minerals. That gives me bromide salt. That's the only reward, except for it also said on that one, +1 Vy'keen standing. So we'll do this one, it's kill 7 sentinels. Before in the mission thing it said 153 nanites, but here you'll see +1 Vy'keen standing. So my current rank with Vy'keen is neutral, and I want to raise that. So I should have been grabbing all of these missions throughout the thing. Now the more Vy'keen missions that I do, the more guild missions that I do, the more traders missions that I do. Like open up this one right here. This is a level 8, this is a level 5, this is a level 4. Based on what the symbol is, as which group it's for. This is Explorer, this is the Mercenaries Guild, I believe, and these are Vy'keen with the eyes. So that tells you which one is giving you faction for. That's why you do missions, especially early on. And I should also be talking about all these people getting the words, because that would help me with the language, but no time today. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Reaper.
Oh, no, that's okay. The one nice thing about the standing is once you get to level 9, once you max it out, it doesn't go down. So once you're as high as you can go, you'll just stay there.
That way, when you do things like Big Papa Timo doesn't just fire on random ships, you don't lose faction standing. Yeah. Even though it will tell you that you lost one, it doesn't actually go down.
Mary Lizzie is back.
Welcome back. Alright, so we need to find another wealthy system. Well, there's a GEC. Here's a good example of a good system right here. So this is GEC technology, cell ratio of 73.4 and a buy ratio of 24.9 advanced. I have no idea what the conflict is in there because I don't have the conflict scanner on yet, but the closer you approach to 80 on the cell and the closer you get to 25 on the buy, the better. That just means that your profit margins are as high as they're going to be. I've yet to find a perfect 80 and 25 system, though.
So what is the significance of the conflict level?
So the conflict level is basically just the biggest significance of it is when you warp into a system, are you going to get attacked? If you have a high conflict system, you're more likely to have something going on where the pirates will attack you and stuff like that. Honestly, I don't pay that much attention to it, so it doesn't really affect the economy to my knowledge in any way, shape, or form. What it may also do is affect the types of ships generated in there, but again, I'm not positive, so I don't really want to say something I don't know. Maybe somebody in chat knows? If you fly into a Vy'keen with a high conflict, are you more likely to find A and S class fighters, max size fighters?
Excuse me.
That, and I'm kind of curious myself as to what the difference between a lawless system and a high conflict system are. Alright, so I've been jumping around a whole bunch, and I've been to a whole bunch of different systems, so I'm going to check with Helios. ask about their past, just because, you know, small talk. And I don't think Helios is going to give me more nanites today because I've already gotten them. Yep, so we're done there. No milestones from Helios. I mentioned before that you can come here and talk to Ares and see what their current item that they're looking for is. I've actually never done this, but Gravitino balls. But I can transmit milestone data. And look at that, I just got another 350 nanites just for jumping from system to system to system.
Nice.
Now, I had already turned into Ares right before the stream, too, so that's all just from what we've been doing here. Alright, we don't want to do the tech slot yet. We want to do that one. Now we're up to 250,000. Imagine the next one in the station is going to be 300,000. So they do get expensive. They get expensive quick. But if you're spending 500,000 units to get the suit slots and you're making 5 million per trip, kind of worth it not to have to do another method to get it. Alright, let's go to the station. So like I said, this is more of the beginner's guide to No Man's Sky economics. There are a lot of ways to make money. There are a lot of more complicated manners to make money. And once you get to a certain point, what I do after I do normally 2 full runs of my trade route with the wiring looms, I will actually then change over to a completely different method of making money, and that is the activated indium deep mines. Because by that point in time, I have enough funds to just kind of sit back and get anything that I want in the form of purchasing. My biggest fear is always that I'm going to run into a capital class engagement and it'll be an S class and I don't have the funds to pay for it. You know, if I'm flying around in an A class and I find an S class, ooh, check that out. Oh, it's a C class, but that is really cool looking.
Oh.
That is actually an experimental pistol.
Nice.
I've never seen an experimental pistol before. Kind of like I found the experimental alien, yeah. So I'm going to take a picture of this, and then of course I'm going to pop the coordinates up if anybody else wants to come take a look. This is PS4 permadeath. Snap a pic of that. I will send those off to Lava. Right, this guy is Gek, so we don't have the other room. Oh, what am I? There we go. Don't ask. I have no idea what I was trying to click on there. Yeah, it's always disappointing, Graha, when they come up as C classes. Check this guy, see what he has for ships. Alrighty. Pulse engine and in for knife. It's always helpful to come back here and check to see if there are travelers back here as well.
Sword's got to run some errands. I'll leave to PC running. See you. Oh, he's going to leave the PC running.
Right on, brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. And we'll catch you in about 6 hours. What? 6 hours? 5.5.
Yeah. What time are you going on tonight, Sword? After Zane, of course. Just look at it, guys. You can go from the mid-lunch crisis to Zane's World to Sword and do nothing but No Man's Sky all in one day. Just checking to see if there's anything back here. There's not. I knew there wasn't. Did it anyways. Oh, look, we did find a traveler.
Nice.
This time I'll talk to him the second time. Alrighty, and before I go do the grave, we will do the Cobalt transfer. So we're selling 15,000 and we're going to be buying 16,000.
Graha says he loves the update where the NPCs move and all the ships, makes the universe seem more alive.
Alright, so this is interesting. I'm going to back out of here because I don't think it registered the purchase. Alright, so I have glitched out this terminal. I have broken this because I sold 15,000 and it only has 4,633 cobalt in here now. But it does have platinum. But that's okay. So what we're going to do here, when this happens, cross back over to the other side and see if it accidentally got sent to the other Galactic Trade Terminal.
Galaxy Void asks, since you're playing on permadeath, will every other player that is in your game also be on permadeath? The answer is you cannot join a permadeath game without a permadeath save. So when you go in to join somebody else's game, if they're on permadeath, it will only allow you to access your own permadeath save.
Graha pointed out that there was no market price drop, and he's in fact correct. It did not alter, and it did not put it to the other side either. So we have basically lost our cobalt. The cobalt for the benefits of buying and selling the cobalt. We would have to start over if we wanted to continue using the same material. That's actually touche. I'm going to reload the autosave and I should still have everything in my inventory.
Ah, good call, Graha.
Hadn't even thought about that, dude. I would have just started over. Actually, I probably would have shifted to wiring looms at this point in time.
Noth Ghost kind of had me confused for a second. He said, at Galaxy Void, standing drains your stamina slowly but gives you a buff to visibility. Also, most income-related quests require standing of some kind. And then he says, oh wait, you mean in No Man's Sky, not in real life.
Alright, so we have to do all of this all over again. We should even act surprised again. Ooh,
no. What's in the box?
Oh, there's no traveler in here. Oh, darn. I wonder if there's a traveler on the other side.
Maybe we should go check.
We should. There's a traveler here.
Noth goes, oh my god, that looks so good. Oh, C-Class.
I know, right?
Graha says, too bad it's a C-Class. Time warp trippy.
Let's do the time warp again. Alright, well, we have a grave location. Let's go ahead and try and crash the market here. Let's sell 15,000 and buy. This worked better this time. Buy 16,000.
I agree, North Ghost. He says that cool weapons should only come in A class or higher. I think if you find an experimental or an alien, you're right. It should be A class at least.
I think we're going to get the ability to scrap multi-tools in the very near future.
Ooh.
If they're going to allow us to scrap ships, they should allow us to scrap multi-tools. Alright, so now we've got full inventory, 16,000. Still have 8 million units. And we have a Traveler's Grave. So what we're going to do here is Big Papa Timo is going to jump in and out of the Rorinon. I'm going to be really, really nice and give you guys a forward-facing view of Big Papa Timo standing in front of said Rorinon. And then I'm going to take a break for a couple minutes. So, Fear the Reaper is going to keep you company until I return. I'll be back in just a minute.
Alrighty. You guys know I'm about to say it, right? He's gone, so we can talk about him now. North Ghost, you found a death pistol with a glowing crystal grip. It was a C class with 4 free slots. Oh, that's brutal, dude. I was kind of excited. I don't believe I've seen one with a glowing crystal grip. I might be a little mad about that if I found it and it was a C class. Although, you'd have to consult with lava lamps, but I believe there is still a chance, because that is in the pool, that you could find it higher on a planet. I don't know if you'd find it in S class. D Morty, Timo's gone. R-rated stream begins. That's right. Let's blow it up. Haha, my only alien find was a B class. Was excited and disappointed at the same time. Yeah, you know, I've actually I've never found an alien multi-tool. Of course, I don't really look for them as much as other people do. It's on my list of things to do. Galaxy, on one of my streams, I found a pink S-Class multi-tool, but I forgot. Oh, no. Dude, that is brutal. That might be a rage quit for me. Crystal didn't have like a halo around it, but it was lit a little bit. I was on my way to Stiffy Town until the stat page showed up and it turned me down hardcore. Oh, rejection. Graha, yeah, I suck at finding all the good stuff in the wild as well. I mean, there are methods to finding the good stuff. You do things in a specific way, but I just don't. No, North Coast dropping some knowledge. Yes, the No Man's Sky Coordinates Exchange can, in fact, find you the multi-tool that you desire. If only I had a link for some useful piece of technology that could help. That is the Black Hole Sun ship locator. Oh, Graha, you've been North Ghosted. I suck at finding them in the wild. Graha 2020. So yeah, that is a link to the ship locator. If you click on that link, it brings up a really cool piece of tech that allows you to search for things. You search for ships and multi-tools that you want. So you just put in there what you're looking for, and it will show you pictures and give you the information on where you can find that particular item that you're looking for. What the heck happened here? So what do you guys think? Think you're ready to go out and make some money on your own? Become No Man's Sky billionaires? Yes, Mary is correct. Finding an S-class can also be affected by the seed of your save. Basically, what the seed is it's the part of the RNG that determines how often things happen, such as finding the max S-class modules or finding the S-class multi-tools and ships like that. Graha's got 2 saves sitting at 4.4 billion. Almost. It's actually 4.32 or 4.2.
It's a weird string of numbers.
Yeah, yeah. Which someone told me once that it was that specific number because that was the max amount of digits in C++ that they could put in.
Alright, so our grave is on an Anomaly planet.
Oh, nice.
Ois Bert. Winds of Glass.
Yeah, Graha's right. The hexadecimal code max.
Alright, we're going to grab this glyph real quick.
North Coast is asking if you went for a run.
No, actually, since you bring it up, actually, I gotta do something real quick here. The reason I had to take a really quick break, and I would like to bring this up, is because I live in a neighborhood that has a lot of elderly people, and I heard the fire engine pull up outside my house. It wasn't actually coming to my house, it was going to my neighbor's. And what I wanted to say was, you know, since we're part of a community here within No Man's Sky, remember that in winter in particular, the elderly are susceptible to all sorts of different things. One of my neighbors just had to get picked up by an ambulance, and that's when I heard the fire engine. I was not curious as to what was going on for curiosity's sake, but we all kind of look out for each other here in our neighborhood. and they had slipped and fallen in their backyard, and their neighbor, who was, keeping an ear out for members of the community, had noticed. So just, in real life, look out for members of the community as well, because you never know when somebody's going to need some help. You never know when that person's going to be you. So I was slightly out of breath because I had to climb back up the stairs really quickly. But when I saw that it was my neighbor, I went over to their house really quick to make sure that they were okay. They will be fine. They're just going in for checks because the person is elderly and don't want a broken hip or anything.
They were referring to the fact that you were out of breath, and that's because Timo has put his gaming space on the top floor, so he's got a lot of stairs to climb.
But I also have the best view of where all the bad things are happening and good things are happening.
Nothghost says Big Papa Timo has a secret identity as Pen Man. When the fire truck went by, he had to spring into action.
Totally.
It's a not so secret identity.
Not so secret identity. Yeah, actually, a little bit of background history on me. I'm a former EMT myself. And my eldest son just got his EMT certifications. We do a lot of volunteer work when it comes to fire and rescue and stuff like that. So depending on where you live, Pennsylvania is kind of weird, given that we live in a commonwealth and everything is broken up by municipalities and magisterial districts and everything else like that. Ambulance services were kind of strange for me moving from Maryland, because Maryland everything was county government based. Here everything is municipalities and actually private businesses. So our ambulance companies are actually privately owned. It's not taxpayer funded, which was really, really strange for me to get used to. But yeah, so that's odd. So donate blood, volunteer for stuff, try and be a pillar of your community, help out those in need, help out those that are not in need but just need, might benefit from some help. Be excellent to one another.
So North Ghost, I'll have to elaborate, but North Ghost says no one messes with Pen Man's neighborhood because his sidekick is literally the Grim Reaper.
Touché.
Big Papa Timo and I talked early on about the whole co-host sidekick thing. Because neither one of us wants to actually be a sidekick.
Separate but equal.
Yes. Graha says, my brother is both fire and EMT.
Excellent.
Red and white line. Awesome. Mary says, we do the same thing here. Matter of fact, quite a few years ago, I went to check on the neighbors during a blizzard because the power went out, and I knew the lady's husband was on a ventilator.
Ooh.
Graha says, don't go wearing tights and walking up the side of buildings.
I never walk up the side of buildings in tights. I wear loose-fitting clothing when I walk up the sides of buildings.
I would recommend definitely some loose-fitting, stretchy clothing.
Alright, so we're back at it, guys. Got another suit upgrade. We're going to grab another one here in the station. And then we're going to sell off the Cobalt as Pen Man makes his way through the galaxy. If you guys ever want something funny, Google the Moxum Ninja. Actually, I'm going to type this in myself.
North Ghost says the tights are for Mrs. Pen Man's eyes only.
We're going on a topic we're not going to get in there. I did mention the hoochie pants the other night, didn't I?
No, I don't think you did.
Oh, okay. I don't think that's come up for Mid-Lunch Crisis. That's more of the late night streaming stuff. So we're gonna leave that one alone. Might get me in trouble. You never know. My wife might actually watch my stream one day. Not likely, but it is possible.
I was just gonna say I definitely don't have to worry about that. My wife is pretty anti-YouTube.
I think we all fall in that boat. I know Mrs. Sword is pretty anti-YouTube. She doesn't like to be involved in the streams and everything else like that, although she does grace us with her presence every once in a while.
My wife doesn't even watch YouTube videos unless it's an absolute necessity. If she plays Final Fantasy 14,
Ooh.
which, if you're not familiar with it, it's a lot like WoW for console, which it's a pretty amazing game, I have to say. It's super involved, super in-depth. But if she can't get help in the game for something, or she can't figure it out on her own, she might go and search a YouTube video for it, but she's got to be pretty desperate.
The yellow head threw me off on that guy. Got excited, thought it was another traveler.
Oh, North Coast has some stories about Final Fantasy 14, but not for the mid-lunch crisis.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah, thanks for censoring yourself there.
You're always welcome to bring it up on Mary Lizzie's stream, though.
Yeah.
Alright, so we are going to sell our Cobalt. And we have 16,000. Let's see what that brings us up to now. Alright, we just hit the 10 million mark. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch to buy. Go ahead.
Galaxy says, "Man, I wish both my parents played video games."
Alright, now I bought all wiring loops. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to sell them back.
So, Graha says, "Well, I kicked my WoW habit years ago. Dangerous." Which, I have to say, I did as well. I actually got out before they took it in a different direction. I played the original WoW, which was a really awesome game. Nothco says, at Galaxy, "Why wish duct tape, chairs, and bomb timers exist? Make it happen, man." Public service announcement: do not do that. Mary Lizzie says, "Volunteering me now."
Always, especially for adult conversations. All right, you guys might have noticed I switched to the wiring looms on this, and I crashed the market with that. So now we are going to switch over to that. Now we still have 1.3 million units, and this took 2 sales to actually crash the market on wiring looms, but we're going to do our best to do that. Yep, Graha says loom time. So now we're going to go and make another galactic jump. It is, of course, assuming that I have fuel in the hyperdrive, which I do. Don't have an emerald drive, so can't go there. Going to look for any wealthier opulent system. Doesn't necessarily have to be Vy'keen. There's an advanced system there. Horrible buy-sell ratio, but close enough. You're the only one that I really know of, but I know that Action Pants lists himself as adult, and Beeblebum apparently is pretty R-rated as well. Kibbles. There you go. Not see. Leave it to Noth to know all the dirty people in No Man's Sky community. Now, while we don't have enough wiring looms to fill up our inventory, we're still going to continue to acquire more cargo spaces.
Now I pulled up classic Mary Lizzie. I was responding to chat comments with a muted microphone.
R-rated is just the movie version of TVMA. Because actually, if I'm not mistaken, on TV ratings, you can't drop the F-bomb intentionally. It has to be accidental. Whereas R-rated, you're allowed a certain number of them before it becomes NC-17.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, TVMA does not include that particular word. There's a few words that you're still not allowed to say. Refer to George Carlin for that.
Actually, George Carlin has a great skit about that, where he blurts out every one of them very, very quickly. Not for the faint of heart, and if you don't like swear words, don't listen to it. But if you do, or if you're not offended, excellent, excellent skit. I'm going to miss George Carlin. Thought the man had comedic genius.
Yep, I agree. I was actually still reading that comment when Mary let it go. I said, TV these days is almost as bad as R. Butts and even boobs can be seen on TVMA, and of course there is uncensored cable. And Nothka, he also said Game of Thrones was porn with a 6-figure budget.
Alright, now I'm going to disagree with that. I thought that Game of Thrones, other than a few scenes, was actually fairly sedate. Some of the things that they put up on Skinamax, as I call it, and a lot of people do, or Showtime After Dark, or even HBO After Dark, much more straight up porn, with, granted, not the highest budgets, but there are a lot of worse shows than Game of Thrones. Where Game of Thrones crossed the line was the sex and violence at the same time.
Yeah.
Now I'm not easily offended in any way, shape, or form, and I was not offended by Game of Thrones, just because I really did like the novel series that George R.R. Martin did before, and I read Song of Fire and Ice, or Ice and Fire, however the heck it's ordered, before it was actually a movie or a made-for-TV series. But they to get on TV, they toned down a lot of the things from Game of Thrones, particularly the ages. The ages were what really, really got a lot of people on that one, because the Stark kids were 3 years younger in the books than they were in the TV series.
Let me give a shout out here to Review Orcs USA. Welcome to the channel, buddy.
Hey, welcome. How are you doing today?
He says being offended is for degenerates. When it comes to comedy, I tend to agree. If you can't take a joke, I feel sorry for you. Mary says Carlin, one of Husbeast's favorites, along with Izzard. Eddie Izzard is an awesome comedian.
Eddie Izzard is amazing. Now, if you want some really, really dirty jokes from comedians, the three that I will recommend the most to you are going to be ironic. Joan Rivers, may she rest in peace. Betty White, who is still with us and kicking. And the one that surprised me the most when I saw their comedy special was Bob Saget from Full House. Bob Saget is just straight up raunchy.
Yeah.
Look at that hauler right there, guys. That is a neat looking swept wing hauler. I'm going to go ahead and zoom into photo mode real quick. If you guys like swept wings, that is pretty cool.
That is nice.
Doesn't have the ducted fans, but that's still pretty cool. Snap it real quick.
Let's see. Nothco says those scenes with Drago and Danny were not sedate. They added the clapping sound and everything.
Touche. But what they didn't do was get into her age, because in the book, she was 14.
I didn't watch a whole lot of Game of Thrones, but wasn't there something in the beginning of season 1 that they didn't actually come out with her age, but it alluded to the fact that she was young?
Again, with Daenerys Targaryen, they alluded to her being young, but her character is portrayed in the series as being closer to 18. In the books, she was 14.
Okay.
And then Sansa Stark later on, at the time that her stuff comes through, she was still 15. Actually, she's 14 with Joffrey. She's 15 with Ramsay Bolton. Yeah, so age was definitely an issue. So we're going to get into selling wiring looms and get off of this topic really quickly.
I was just going to say, Daniel Hipley wants to know if you found the 24-slot multi-tool yet.
I have, actually. It was in A-class, and it's in one of my earlier systems. Alright, so we couldn't quite crash the market, so we can't afford to buy all of these just yet. So we're going to drop this down to what we can afford. Purchase them all.
He was asking if you had bought one yet.
Oh, I have not purchased one yet, no. So I'm running around with a C-class handheld pistol. I have not bought a 24-slot rifle yet. We're going to buy 200 wiring looms. And then we're going to turn around and sell 200 wiring looms. Then we're going to turn back around and purchase as many as we can afford again.
Alright, Zane's World is officially live.
Excellent. Alright guys, so Reaper's going to drop a link to Zane's World. As much as we love you all, we know that Zane has a much bigger pool than we do, and we also like watching Zane's World ourselves. So now that it's 2 o'clock, our scheduled departure time, we're going to go ahead and dump you all off. And if you wouldn't mind, when you jump in there, if you could drop a hashtag lunch raid, be very much appreciated. And we're going to raid NMS royalty.
Yes, we are.
We do appreciate everybody stopping by. If you've got any questions about today's episode of Mid-Lunch Crisis, hit it up on Discord. Also, Reaper, if you would drop a link to your YouTube page.
I certainly will.
I'll drop the hashtag lunch raid.
I was going to say, actually, I just did a couple minutes ago. Yep.
Swing on by, Reapers, if you haven't already. Go ahead and subscribe over there, because the next episode of the Lunch Raid is Mid-Lunch Crisis is going to be hosted on Fear the Reapers YouTube channel and not mine, and it's going to be Wednesday at 11 a.m. We have no idea what our topic of discussion that day is going to be just yet, but we'll figure it out and let you know on Discord.
We certainly will.
And hey, I do want to say thank you all for all the viewers and all the thumbs up. Had a great time. And until next time, fly safe. That's right, it's on my stream. I have to be the one to end the stream. Big Papa Timo is experiencing technical difficulties.